What's up, everyone, and welcome to ClearTalk. So in this video, we're going to be talking about Donald Trump admitting that he is childish and that he has a personality defect. I don't, I'm not gonna argue with him. Oh no. And then of course, in general, we're going to kind of talk about the updates on the election. See where we stand right now, the polling and things like that with between Kamala and Donald. So yeah, we're gonna just kind of do a general overlook at that after we kind of talk about this Donald Trump thing here. So, anyways, before then, if you before that, we would you consider subscribing, like, share, comment, all the good stuff, and check out my other channels, JMD Drummer, JMD Play. Of course, you're here on Clear Talk. And of course, check out the Discord if you'd like to kind of engage with community there. Do the one-time donation right there, and of course, up top there is the Patreon JMD Nation, $3 a month for that. So, yeah, we have a little article here. Flip over. This is with The Independent. Trump admits he might be childish and have a personality defect at swing state rally. So he was at a rally in Pennsylvania on Monday night, last night. He made an unusual, self-aware admission at a rally in Pennsylvania, saying perhaps he had a personality defect. Speaking to supporters in Indiana, Pennsylvania, where most polls show him behind his Democratic rival Kamala Harris, the former president was describing his reluctance to do an interview with the Libertarian TV host Greg Gutfeld when he got a little personal. He asked me for an interview, and I said, I'll do it, but begrudgingly, 10 minutes. I don't really want to do it because he doesn't like me, Trump said. I guess I don't like anybody that doesn't like me. I'll be honest. That's, I mean, okay. Promptly cheers and laughter from the prompting cheers and laughter from the crowd. When they don't like me, I don't like them. Okay, it sounds childish. That's the way it is. Call it a personality defect. I mean, he was, clearly trying to joke about himself, but I mean, I find it funny. But we did an interview, and it was supposed to be 15 minutes, and it lasted for 2.5 hours. It just never stopped. It was great chemistry. We actually liked each other. Everything was great. We actually liked each other. We loved each other. We were giving each other our phone numbers, and we talked all night long. The rally came as Trump prepared to return to Butler, Pennsylvania, when he was shot in the ear by a would-be assassin this July. During his speech, the real estate tycoon tore into Harris's record on the economy and the U.S. Mexico border, as well as repeated attacking immigrants and transgender people. Wow, that's no surprise. He promised. This is interesting. He promised America's women, that I am your protector. I am your protector. That's a horrible. Saying that under his presidency, women will be happy, healthy, confident, and free. We will no longer be thinking about abortion. Why would we no longer be thinking about abortion? You're going to be so damn happy. You're going to want to have babies. You're not going to want to give up your babies because you're going to want the babies to be happy and healthy and confident and free. Don't need to worry about all that. Spit them babies out. He also claimed that the Republican Party will defend and support IVF, saying we want beautiful babies in our country. We want you to have your beautiful, beautiful, perfect baby. We want those babies, and we need them. We need them. And I will protect women at a level never seen before. I will protect women at a level never seen before. About like he protected, like he protected all his mistresses and stuff, right? I'm sorry. In between, he offered an ironic commentary on the two recent assassination attempts against him, the second in which involved an AK-47 style rifle. I learned about AK-47s 3 weeks ago. That's not a nice one. That's not a nice one. No, no, not really. I'm getting very good at learning about weapons. I'm learning a lot about guns, Trump said. Oh my gosh. Um, like, did he? Does he really not know about guns? Does he not know that there are guns out there that can be used in a dangerous way? Like, I mean, does he not realize all guns can be used in a dangerous way? But are there some that are way more dangerous than others? Um, I mean, like you would have thought this was the like something that would have immediately and easily come up after two assassination attempts on him. About something around gun regulation, something around gun control, something like you would think that he might want to tiptoe around in that a little bit. You would think that his followers would a little bit, if nothing else, just to protect him. But he's going to protect America's women. He's going to protect them, and they will never have to think about abortion. What the hell does that even mean? Like seriously, you will no longer be thinking about abortion. Not even that you don't have to. He said you will no longer be thinking about it. Like you will full stop not be thinking about abortion anymore. You won't be thinking about it because it won't be allowed, or you're going to be like I said, you're going to be so damn happy. Everything's going to be so perfect for you. I'm going to protect you at levels never seen before. Never seen such good levels of protection for women. I mean, I don't understand. What are we talking about here? We're gonna protect the hell out of you. Oh shit. I don't even know what that means. I'm scared to find out. Uh but yeah, he apparently, you know, he doesn't like people that doesn't like him. I mean, yeah, most people don't, I guess, but still, when it comes to like an interview or something, even that you like that's like you need to go into the lines then a little bit. If anything, for the attempt to try to change their mind or try to prove your point, but also to learn a little bit about yourself and where where you're, uh, where you slack a little bit maybe, or where you might need to get better at driving your point, or whatever the case. Uh, Sounds childish. Maybe I have a personality defect. Quality, yeah. Well, anyways, so yeah, that was an interesting. I thought that was a little interesting. Um, he's going to protect us, or women rather. But yes, in general, real quick, the general case of the election right now, you've got some craziness going on throughout the states. Republican states, trying their best to last minute change stuff, to try to help favor Trump if at all possible. You had Nebraska making an attempt to change their electoral process for the electoral college, but that did not go through. Uh, Nebraska, along with Maine, are the only two states in the union that uh, they're not an all or nothing state. So like all the other 48 states are like an all or nothing when it comes to electoral college. If whoever's the top earner in the state, whatever presidential elector or whatever, if it's in other words, if it's Trump, has the most votes, then he gets all the electoral, you know, uh, delegates for for becoming president, or if Harris has it, if it's a blue state and Harris state, she gets it all. Nebraska and Maine, they split up. They go by congressional districts, and there's one congressional district in Nebraska around Omaha that has one delegate, one electoral delegate that uh, to be given. So it they wanted to have that included into the whole thing and just make sure that Trump got that one extra, because they absolutely think that one extra is going to help Trump win. Because when they looked at the overall landscape of the Electoral College and the possibilities for who could win what state and how the numbers would add up, in a certain scenario where uh, Harris winds up winning all your northern, uh, what do we call that? I guess Midwest states, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, all those states, and Trump winds up winning all the southern ones: Georgia, Arizona. Uh, uh, what's the other one? That's North Carolina. Winning all those, then if Nebraska stays the way it is with the separation of the congressional districts, then Harris would win with 270 votes, which is all that's needed to win the Electoral College, and Trump would have 268. Okay, so that's a two point difference. But if they were to join that together and get that joined together for him to get all the votes, then that would create a tie. It'd be a 269 tie. And in the case of a tie, it would then go to the House of Representatives, which is a Republican controlled Senate, part of the House, and therefore a higher likelihood that they would give the presidency to Trump. See how that works? Now, Maine apparently potentially attempted this as well. I'm not completely sure on that, but they were, or even if they did attempt it, maybe it was that they were already passed, because they have to do any kind of changes 90 days before election, and we're well within that. So even if they attempted to do it, they couldn't do it. But Nebraska was still in their rules could change it. But one particular Republican state senator, I think, or like their state senate, that local senate that was voting on this, was holding out. He held out till the last minute, but then come back saying that he did not agree with it, basically, uh, because it just didn't, for one, it didn't look right or didn't look good, or it should just be held off to uh, the next time, because it was too close to the election to some degree. And then he also made, I think, another reason too, but I can't remember why. But basically, he held out and decided against it, didn't agree with it. So it did not pass. Now, I think they still might attempt to bring it again. But anyways, so that was falling through. You also have Georgia trying to pass laws and stuff there, where they're trying to force extra hand counting of the ballots throughout all the um, districts and stuff. So they have to count. They have to have three uh, individual, uh, I, I, I guess, election workers or whatever, count the ballots in each district, and they have to and it's going to be thousands, or thousands and thousands of ballots they might have to count. It could take days, weeks, whatever. I mean, but they have to hand count them, and if there's any discrepancies between those three, okay, then they have to recount. So this is all a strategy to try to, they say, to create better integrity for the, and make it more accurate or whatever. But I mean, this is really just to halt and stall as much as they can, and hope that they can find a way to, either not verify the counts or whatever, or to, because there's also limitation, like time limitations for getting those, counts to the state, uh, turning them in and stuff. So I don't know what happens in that case where they don't meet that deadline, whether they just don't get counted, or I don't know. I don't have a clue on that, how that works. But they're clearly creating an issue there, more complicated process, when it's already been established that hand counting is significantly less accurate than machine counting, and oftentimes has discrepancies. Machine counting is way more accurate, uh, and that is already in place, and to just add another layer. Um, so there's issues going around, uh, all over the country, where the Republican states are trying their best to either, with whether it comes to, you know removing poll places. This is issue's been going on for a while, to, cause havoc on people having to go longer distances and stuff and go to different poll places, which, trying to suppress vote there. That's a practice of doing that. To, you have over 70 um, election deniers now in these swing states, that will potentially, create havoc, and, not verifying votes and stuff like that. I mean, this is all being set up to create another instance where they can deny the election if Harris is winning, or if she seems to have won, or whatever. And this is all being led by the Republican Party, and all local to federal, everything. And it's just complete chaos. Or could potentially be chaos. So this is an issue that's, at this point, I don't even know how you can really address it. I mean, it gets kind of like whatever happens, happens at this point. I mean, you even had, North Carolina had to stop their early ballot stuff, because there were some people getting early ballots, that did not have Kamala Harris's name on the list as someone to vote for. Uh, it wasn't like all of them, but there were certain ones that had apparently went out that didn't have her on the list. So then they had to turn around and stop it, fix the issue. It was like electronic, I think. Maybe it was an electronic version or something that they have in North Carolina for early voting or something. And they had to fix the issue and then reopen it. I think it was reopened that same day, like allowed for access again that same day. But still, like, this is some issues that are like it's a little convenient, right? A little suspicious. Uh, so yeah, and the funny thing though, I find with the whole issue with Nebraska, is that I actually agree in the way that they have their stuff split up congressional by the districts. That, in my opinion, is a more accurate and better way for the electoral college to be, you know, put into practice and put in play. Like, I think every state should be separated by congressional district, like the electoral college be separated in every state by the congressional districts. That way, you would have a better representation of voters, and how it, their vote contributes to the electoral process, electoral college, for them to be, assigned and, win the election. It would also create, and because what you have now is you basically have like 6, 7 states that are the battleground states, or the ones that potentially either flop one way or the other, and those are the only states that are really concentrated on by the whoever's whoever's trying to be become president. those are the only ones they focus on. That's the ones they go when they campaign to, because they're trying to win the most votes there, because they know they have, they know that they have the votes in the other states. Where if you broke it up into, the more congressional districts and stuff, and so there was partial delegates within every state that could be gained by either candidate, it would be more fair, and it would force them to actually engage with all states to try to win those districts. You would wind up creating. It would wind up being more fair, more accurate to the actual, representation of the states and the voters in it. You would actually even potentially wind up with more people coming out to vote because they feel like they have a better opportunity to actually feel like they are contributing to the vote. Because a lot of these states, like say, I'm in Mississippi right now. In Mississippi, it always, unfortunately, always goes Republican, but that's because we typically only have about 50 to 60% of our actual voter base come out to vote. Um, Actually, I'm not even sure it's that much. Matter of fact, I'm thinking nationally. Um, Actually, within our state, I think it's only like 40%, 40 to 45% of the electorate comes out and votes. So you have a whole broad amount of people that decidedly don't come out to vote because they automatically either assume, it could be either way. I mean, it could be Democrats that are assuming that it's just always going to be Republican, or you have Republicans even maybe not coming to vote because they assume that it's going to be won by Republicans. So there's a big argument there as to, if you could actually get out more people what our state actually truly represents. We don't really know because only a small percentage of the the a minority percent of the of the actual people that could vote. So I mean, this is where you start to. I would argue that Mississippi and probably even several other states might not quite be as Republican as people think. And if you were to set it up in that way, where the Electoral College was separated up by the districts and not by state, then you would have a more fair outcome in that, and it would be more representative of the people in the state. And like I said, you would wind up with the candidates having to actually visit everybody and try to win everybody's vote, not just 7 states. I mean, that's just crazy. It's ridiculous that only 6 or 7 states could win or lose you the election. I mean, so yeah, that's the state. That's my issue there with the Electoral College. Um, and polling right now, while it is favoring Kamala in a lot of ways, there's some polling that still somewhat favors Trump. The majority of it has Kamala up by 3 to 4 points, uh, and but I've already talked about, polling for me right now is completely inaccurate. I don't think it actually represents what's going on right now in the state of the country in any way. I think there's a lot of things that are not being seen based on uh, voter registration and motivation from one campaign to the other. It's just, I feel like there's some representation that's being missed. But uh, all professionals are saying this is still a really close race and that it could go either way. So uh, I don't want to act like one is going to win by a landslide, although I might think it. We need to make sure everybody does get out to vote, and be educated in your vote. Know who you're voting for, what they represent, and whether they truly represent you and everything that you actually are concerned with. Don't just vote for party because of party's sake or anything like that. Look at their policies, look at their history, look at not only what they have done and what they have said in the past, but also what they are saying and what you might actually think they could do. Like, what's the potential for what they were going to do going forward? And whatever whichever one you think is going to work for you in that. Uh, and I would and also consider not just what benefits you, but what benefits everybody as a whole. Okay, taking everybody in consideration, not just you and your ideas and your beliefs and stuff like that, but everybody's. Who's better for everybody's ideas, everybody's beliefs, everybody's concerns. Uh, Not just don't be completely selfish and personal about it. Yeah, you have to think about it some degree of yourself, but also take a second to think about everybody else. Anyways, thank you very much. I don't. It doesn't look like we're gonna have any more debates. I don't know. Uh, there doesn't seem to be, from what I can tell, anything like being solidified there. We will have the VP debate here for long. If nothing else happens, that will probably be next, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much what's happening. Um, so let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of all this issues going on. You think about Trump. Uh, is he childish? Does he have a personality defect? Do you think he's actually going to protect women at levels never seen before? You don't know how we're going to do. It's going to be great. Everything's going to be amazing. You're going to be protected. Um, And, what do you think is going on with all these states and how they're trying to change stuff at the last minute? Is that right? Uh, to try to benefit Trump as much as they can, which clearly shows that they are concerned, right? Um, and then also, what are you thinking about as far as, well, I guess, let me know what you think about the Electoral College. What I was talking about, do you think that actually would be a more preferred way for that to run? Not that we will see that change that way. I mean, very unlikely, but I think it would be. Even though there's an argument to completely abolish it or completely get rid of it. eh, I even think that is a way that it could be reformed and potentially work better, more accurate, fairly. Uh, Anyways, and then also, what do you think about how the mood, vibes, the polling, everything going on? Where do you feel like it's leaning? Anyways, thank you very much for joining me. And until next time, Clear Talk, peace. I'm out.